Okay, so in this video, we'll be covering question 4, part A of the 2022 AP Calculus AB No Calculator Allowed section of the free response questions. So I'll cover each of these A, B, C, and D in their own individual videos because they're usually their own individual little topics, so that way you can kind of pick and choose or watch them all. Part A here is wanting us to approximate the second derivative using the average rate of change for r prime over this interval here. So we want the average rate of change from 7 to 10. So average rate of change right there, that is fancy math talk for slope as you've always known it. So that would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so on this problem here, that's really all you got to do is you say, okay, well, technically that's going to be my x1 and that would be my x2. So x1 would equal 7, x2 would equal 10, y1 and y2 is what we need to kind of finish this thing out. So at x equals 7, that would be this number here, we get a y value of negative 4.4. Then at x equals 10, we end up getting out a y value of negative 3.8. So then to approximate, and they would want you to kind of use this notation, you would say, okay, to approximate that second derivative, I'm now just going to plug everybody into my slope equation. So y2, negative 3.8, minus y1, which is negative 4.4, over x2, which is 10, minus x1, which is 7. Technically, because this is a calculator not allowed section, as long as you have all those values filled in, they'll give you your 1 point right here for getting the right answer. If you start trying to simplify this thing down, you better make sure you do it all properly or else they'll take that 1 point away. So, I kind of recommend stopping at this point because you for sure will get that 1 point for plugging all the proper values in and setting it equal to the second derivative, which is what you want. But if you wanted to risk it all, then negative 3.8 plus negative there gives us a positive, plus 4.4, that's going to get us 0.6 on top, and then on the bottom we would get 3. And then if you wanted to just keep risking it all another level, you could go ahead and make that go off to 0.2 at that point. Then the last part of this is they want us to indicate the units of the measure. So whenever I go to do units on a problem, I always remind myself of sort of standard derivative notation, dy dx. And so when you're doing that, why that works is because really what this is saying is it would be your y units over your x units. Well, if I come through and say, okay, what do I have in terms of talking about a second derivative here? Well, that is d of my r prime of t over dt. I take the derivative of my first derivative to get my second derivative over time. So what I now know is it's going to be my r prime of t units divided by my time units. And if we go back up to our table, the r prime of t units would be centimeters per day, and then the t units are going to be days. So then the final units on this, you could put them anywhere you wanted to along this route, but your final units are going to be centimeters per day, which is, that's why you need sort of a method to get yourself through it, because they don't really make a lot of sense when you read them out loud, but that's how you break it down. It's your change in whatever that y unit was, so in this situation r prime of t over the change in whatever your t units were. And so that right there, that would have earned you your second point on this question. So there's 2 points for part A. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please click that like button and subscribe. And also share it with your friends and anyone else you know who might be crying about an upcoming AP Calc test. You can find more videos from me, more sample AP Calc questions, and my complete AP Calc study guide over at my website, apcalcprep.com. Have a great one.